You ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right, hold on. Make sure
If you are.
Yep.
Ooh, ooh, ooh. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, I had to turn the volume down. I was working on something earlier,
Oh, no problem.
but I think I got it back to the right levels.
Do I hear me? And yeah,
Matter
I
of
do.
fact, let me look at the recording. Mic check 1 2 1 2.
Mic check
Yep.
1 2 1 2.
All right. Hey,
I'm
hey,
in
hey.
the house.
Cool. It's fine. Ready?
If you are.
Hey, welcome to another episode of the Black Guy Who Tips podcast. I'm your motherfucking host, Rod, joined as always by my co-host,
Karen.
And we are live on a Wednesday, ready to recap House of the Dragon, the finale of season 1, episode 10. Wow, felt like it flew by.
It felt very quick.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
A lot of that has to do with the pace. Like, I think with them speeding up the pace, and they actually get a whole lot in a short period of time. And also the time jumps and things. So it's like, well, man, that was quick, and they actually covered a lot of stuff in a short period of time.
Yeah, I gotta give them credit, man. I to some extent, I think I'm gonna always have questions, and it's probably because of the pacing that I'm gonna have questions, because I think at some point they had to pick what was important and what wasn't important to the story, and what, like, okay, these are the broad strokes of what happened. I understand this book is less detailed than the other books, so they must have just been like, certain shit. They're like, it don't really matter why Sir Kristen is going around getting to kill people. At the end of the day, he is. So that's what we know. So yeah, there's stuff like that I definitely understand people have an issue with, but man, ultimately I thought this thing flew by. All right, y'all know the ground rules for the feedback. No feedback before you listen to our recap. We're not doing the official Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon HBO show. They don't pay us. So we don't care what you think about the show if it ain't got nothing to do with us.
All right.
So listen to us first, and then you leave the feedback, right? That's number one. Number two, let's try to keep it brief. You know what I mean? Some of y'all are verbose. Y'all like to write a chapter and then send it in. No need. We already talked about it, and then, of course, we don't want your predictions. We didn't read them books. The book's written. You're not smart because you figured it out. Okay. We don't want y'all to mess up the fun for us. It's fun to see if me and Karen can be right. We didn't read shit.
We guessing.
We might be totally wrong. We might be completely right, and it's all a surprise to us. And that's the joy for us in the audience. And those are the only real feedback rules. Everything else is, pretty much fair game. Let's go ahead and start getting into it. It's episode 10. It's called The Black Queen, which I like to say that way because it reminds me of like when spoken word was the shit when I was in college, and that was how we complimented our sisters at the time. My black queen. But yeah, before we get into it, let's play a little bit of the copyrighted music. That theme never gets old.
Never.
Honestly. All right, Karen, let's start how we always start. I gotta ask you a question. What do you think about this episode in general?
This episode was really, really good. I enjoyed this episode a lot. I think that particularly the way, and we'll talk about it, the way this ended, it's gonna be a fun ride. It's like before was almost like a setup for the Game of Thrones, but the way this episode ended, you're like, oh, okay, next season we're gonna be about the Game of Thrones. Like, all this was, hey, let's get y'all introduced to the characters, so you know who these people are, and who the families are, and who the lineage is, and all this stuff. I think next season they're gonna be like, I personally think they probably gonna do more time skipping, because they're like, well, we know everything now, so let's go. You know who the families are, you know who the main characters are, and I'm here for it. I am really excited about what they're going to do, and I am looking forward to season 2.
Yeah, it definitely gave me the vibe of like um we're in the end game now, or Chewie, we're home in those Star Wars like I'm like, okay, now we set up all the characters and the pieces on the board.
Mm-hmm.
We know a lot of in-depth information in a way that we didn't even know going into season 1 of Game of Thrones.
Mm-mm.
And from this point on, we can start killing people, blowing shit up,
Mm-hmm.
betraying people and backstabbing people.
Yep.
All this stuff is in place. I mean, I'm sure they'll introduce more people eventually, but it feels like they've introduced so many people and made us so familiar with these people that hopefully season 2 there won't be a glut of new people. And if anything, they can kind of do what they were doing, where like maybe if you have to do some type of like okay, this actor got old and then we replaced it with another actor, if they ever decide to do another time jump, which I read that they said they weren't going to do that this is like
Okay.
the cast from this point on.
Okay.
But I also read that this story is supposed to span like 100 years, which means that I at some point there's probably gonna have to be some changes, because 100 years all these motherfuckers ain't gonna look the same.
Mm-mm.
Except for Daemon, apparently, who don't age. I mean, same actor been playing this nigga the whole
The
time.
whole time.
which is pretty hilarious. But yeah, so looking forward to all of that stuff. Let's get into the breakdown. Episode is called The Black Queen. We start in Dragonstone and we never go to King's Landing this week.
Mm-mm.
Like, it's Dragonstone the whole fucking time. And like, it's interesting because last week was King's Landing the whole time. So this almost like they did 2 finales in a weird way.
Yeah, and you was right, because you was like, that's what they're probably going to do, because it doesn't make no sense to do anything else right now. Where else will you go?
Right. And so that makes so much, it makes so much sense. We spent so much time with the greens. And I guess the official color of the Rhaenyra Targaryen club is black. I thought it was gonna be red because I think that's like the Targaryen colors.
Yes,
But
red and black.
yeah, a red and gold or something. It was anyway. They went black. They went with black for this one. So I said, okay, cool. You know what I mean? Like, I normally they be blinging with the fucking black and the red fashions and the shit and the gold fashions and with the red, trim and all that. They went, and I like black because black is such a serious like statement of like, hey, we not playing on motherfucking games right now.
Nope.
It's just Nino at the Carter and shit.
Come on.
Telling G Money, telling him sit his $5 ass down before he make change to that Albie Shore looking nigga.
This was the greens versus the blacks.
Yeah. So we start with Luke looking at a table. He's in a room by himself, Lucerys, the youngest child, or not the youngest child, but like the second oldest of the boys. And he's looking at this map in this table, and he touches Driftmark with his hand, the kingdom that he's supposed to inherit, the kingdom that at the funeral he cried when Corlys told him, you're gonna one day be the king of Driftmark. And he said he didn't want that because it would mean everybody would be dead.
Right.
Because he's such a precious, sweet little child that has no place in this world of thrones and games.
No, he does not.
No, baby. No. But that was 6 years ago. So maybe he's grown up and changed, maybe he's looking at Driftmark like, fuck it, it's mine. My mama said you got to fake it till you make it.
Right.
Princess Rhaenyra comes downstairs with her hand on her belly because she pregnant, and the boy Luke says, the sea snake is going to die, isn't he? I can't be lord of the tides. Grandsire was the greatest sailor who ever lived. I get seasick on the slip and slide.
Right. I get seasick at Carowinds when the water goes up and down.
I can't watch SpongeBob without throwing up.
Right.
Mama, how I'm gonna run the whole Navy? And he says Driftmark should have went to Vaemon. And he right on more levels than one. He right, because that's even with him saying that Corlys is his grandsire, which We know he ain't. That ain't that boy grandsire.
Mm-mm.
But
But he claiming
bless
them.
the
Yeah.
babies. You know what I'm saying? So he was like,
Yeah,
yeah,
he was like, at least he claimed me.
yeah. So he was like, it should have went. Vaemon had a point when we was up in there and he cut his head off. And uh, she said, Rhaenyra says, we don't choose our destiny; it chooses us. And he goes, bullshit. You told me that Viserys, my granddaddy, let you choose your destiny to be the heir to the throne, and you told us that. So he getting to that age now where you can't lie to your kids because they remember shit.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like, oh fuck, I did say. He's at the because I said so age. Well, where the
Mm-hmm.
parents start just being like, fuck it, you remember the lie, so I said not to do it, and that's gonna be enough.
Right.
So she says the truth is that even during that time when she said she wanted to be an heir to the throne, she was frightened. She was only 14 and not ready to be queen of the seven kingdoms, but it was her duty, and she had to learn that she needed to earn her inheritance. And honestly, did she go to therapy? That explains so much. That explains so much because a lot of the stuff about her as a character that I was like, these are self-destructive, blatantly sabotaging behaviors.
Right.
And because you're the first woman to be in this position, you actually don't have the leeway that a man would have to
Mm-mm.
do shit like have bastard babies and
Nope.
fuck around and not attend your royal duties. And like, you just don't even have, you have to play it like I'm going to be president. And every decision I make is about being president.
Yep.
And she didn't play it that way. She
Mm-mm.
was young, but still, she didn't play it that way. And a lot of this stuff that we're in right now is
It's because
because she didn't play it that way.
right, because if she would have done it that way, I personally believe that her and Allison would have never fell out. That's just
Right.
me.
Right.
Day to day to been cool. Everything would have been fine. Her children, regardless of who their real daddy is, would have everything would have run smoothly. But because she was out here wilding out in the street, and I was like, bitch, I'm doing the right thing, and you able to do what you want to? No.
Right. So she was like, so I was scared um I've gone through where you've been. And he said, yeah, but I'm not like you. And she's like what? He's like, perfect. I said, ooh,
He's of that age.
childhood.
Yeah.
It's so nice.
It's beautiful, ain't it?
She says her job is to prepare him for duties like her dad did for her, because she said I was not perfect either, and my dad prepared me to lead, and that's what I got to do for you. Now, of course, in their mind, they don't know Viserys is dead, even though he was barely hanging on. They still feel like, I have time to prepare you, and when she's the queen, she'll still have time to prepare him. It's not like she plans to become queen and die the next day. Same thing with Jace. But Sir Lawrence comes in and he's like, Auntie Rhaenys is here. She just pulled up on her dragon in her armor and she want to talk.
Right. It's like, hey, what you doing here? And you pulled up and basically jumped out the whip while the whip was still running.
No ravens, no phone calls, no knocking.
No
she
snail
just
mail.
showed up on dragon
Unannounced.
Is Rhaenyra home? And so they meet in the main hall. Rhaenys comes in wearing her armor, and
like she about to go to war.
Yeah, look, and like listen, I hate that she didn't just burn him out to death. Okay, I do, and I'm gonna always hate that, and there's never gonna be anything they can do to make me not hate that she had that dragon scream in their face and then flew off. That being said, I love Rhaenys. Mm-hmm. I just do. I do. I love this character. I'm not rooting for her to be on the throne or watching it that way, but I just love the presence, the writing, the acting, everything about this character is dope to me, So Rhaenys comes in and Rhaenyra says, Princess Rhaenys, may we hope for news of Lord Corlys' swift recovery? Try and play nice.
Okay, because that's what she thought she was there for.
Yeah, try and play nice too. Like they don't get along that good. But you gotta remember, last time that everything checked. Rhaenys had her back in the court, in the throne room.
The kids got married.
They have a marriage pact between the kids. And while she still thinks something fishy has happened to her son and that they was behind it, she seems to be she doesn't seem to know it. No, like, and she also doesn't want the High Towers to take over the throne no matter what. So anyway, so Rhaenys cuts to the motherfucking point, because Rhaenyra's like, it's okay, and she's like, Viserys dead.
Right. She's like, I didn't come here for no bullshit. Let's get straight to the point of this meeting.
Your daddy is dead. He was a good man, but Aegon is the new successor. He on the throne right now, girl.
She didn't tell him everything that happened. She didn't tell him that she destroyed the building.
Now, when she said this, it literally made Rhaenyra's stomach hurt. And now she's carrying a gut full of Daemon. So this is like, it's like the babe. It's like this upset her constitution so bad that the baby started, kicking and shit. And Daemon asked, well, how did my brother die? And Rhaenyra's like, I can't say for sure. I was locked up in my room.
They locked my ass up. So that goes to show you. And Daemon was like, if they locked your ass up, how are you here?
Yeah. He said, so you was in your chambers. That means my brother was killed, because he, Daemon jumped right to the conclusions. He's like, my brother must have got killed. Ray was like, so then they must have asked you to declare your loyalty. And Daemon like, and then how the fuck are you here if you didn't swear your loyalty? They would have killed you. And she was like, look, I escaped, but that don't matter. What matters is the High Septon and crowned Aegon in the dragon pit in front of everybody,
in front of all the people.
And Rhaenyra's stomach started hurting again, like, oh. And she was like, Rhaenys is like, I witnessed it myself before fleeing. They crowned him in front of everybody so they could see who the real king was.
They wanted everybody to know. They didn't want no questions.
So then Daemon started with the insults. He was like, that whore of a king murdered my brother and stole the throne. And you could have burned them all for it. Like, he was like, bitch, why are you here if you didn't kill? Where's the blood on your dragon from killing them?
Where's the smoke off his breath?
And Rhaenys is like, listen, it's going to be a war. I could tell. But it's not my war to begin.
Right. She was like, I'm not the one to start this, bitch. If y'all want to start a war, you start it on your own.
And honest to God, that's a better reason than anything they floated last week about being a mom. The being a mom shit was stupid to me. I was like, what? Everybody on the show got a mama. Didn't do it. Nobody get killed. That's dumb. But I buy this. Her going, if I do this, it looks different. Because I'm not trying to get the throne. It's not my throne to get. I don't want to act on Rhaenyra's behalf because I don't even know what she would do. Viserys definitely wouldn't want this. His whole fucking thing was he don't want the family fighting. Maybe there's a peaceful way to resolve this. Maybe there's terms and conditions that Rhaenyra would accept. I don't know. Not my place. I'm going to get the fuck out of here and tell her so she can decide, because she the real heir.
Right.
But
because if
that's it.
Yeah, because if I do this, all of a sudden it looks differently. And all of a sudden it looked like I started this war. And I don't want my name on the books.
Right. Or maybe they think I want to be the queen.
Right.
So yeah, she said, I'm not gonna do it. I can't be the one to do the shit. I didn't want to cancel them.
Cancer culture can be cruel.
Because it can be cruel. So we don't want to cancel them, okay? So then she says, listen, I just came here out of loyalty to my husband and my house. The greens is coming for you and your kids. The way you came for mine. All right, y'all. Peace. And she gets up to leave. But before she could leave, Ray has more pangs. And then she reaches under the dress and sees blood, and she's like, oh no, the baby's coming.
Yep, the baby is coming.
And back in her chambers, she's back in her birthing clothes, the white gown, and she's walking around, and she is just like literally like an NFL player with 2 concussions on a Thursday night, just trying to walk it off and play through the pain.
Try her best, and they talking to her, and she was like, "I don't want to hear shit." She hollering and screaming like loud, and I think it was the maester. One of them was like, "This is too soon. Like something's not right. Like she's not due. I don't understand."
Yeah, the doctor's talking to the delivery women saying, it's not her time yet. She hadn't gone through. And then Rhaenyra turns around like, I know, nigga, damn. That's the fucking point anyway. And everybody's like, can I help you? She's like, I don't need no help. And I have to think, for her, birth has to be traumatic, not just in the way it's traumatic for every woman or every person that has to go through this, obviously, but the way her mom died. Mm-hmm. And if she's had at this point, because Ray got some kids. If she's had
5,
she got at least 5. Mm-hmm. If she's had 5 kids and made it through that, and she only did it out of duty to the realm, mm-hmm. For this to be the complications, and on the eve of her father's throne being usurped, she like, I can't imagine what was happening in her head, but she was basically on some don't touch me, because also they ain't got no C-sections, so if this baby don't come out, she gonna die. We saw what happened with Lena. Mm-hmm. So it's like this is a life or death situation for real, regardless of the status of the baby inside her.
Yep.
So then Daemon goes to the war room with the rest of the men's.
And it sounded like the walls was paper thin and they weren't far enough, because all they was trying to have a meeting, and all you heard was her screaming over them.
Right.
They was like, and this is what we ah! Yeah. Back to here's another PowerPoint presentation. Holy shit! I'm sorry. We're going to do this. Ah! Like that was the whole meeting.
Yeah, and that was the thing. I couldn't tell if because it didn't seem like they were in the same room, but they were very close. Mm-hmm. And obviously you couldn't have all the men in there in the same room, but nigga, it was close. Mm-hmm. It was like next door. So then
that's what it was. See, this is what happens when you have an open flow concept in your castle.
So then patrols on the island perimeter. So then Daemon gives commands. They need patrols on the island perimeter, looking out for small ships, because if the Greens attack now, it'll be by stealth. Mm-hmm. We don't have enough men to go to war, but we can make ourselves appear stronger than we are. Conscript the Dragon Keepers, because they're capable fighters, which makes sense. And the thing about the stealth thing was such a good call, because remember last week, Otto's first fucking decree to the Kingsguard was, y'all need to take a small team there and basically take them out. That was his first thought. And now Alicent talked him off of that, right. But Daemon couldn't possibly know that. So Daemon's instinct was right to be like, we should be looking out for small ships and stealth groups, because if they gonna come for us, they not gonna come with dragons and a big ass squad. They gonna come with a few people and try to sneak in here and kill us.
Right, because the thing is, they actually want to just nip this in the bud. They don't want to give us time to retaliate and or react. Right. So, if they do something small, they can, because the quote unquote, once we're dead, that's quote unquote end of the war as far as they're concerned.
Right. And no one is listening to Rhaenyra. So whether Rhaenyra can hear them, it has any input, Daemon is ignoring all that shit. Mm-hmm. So outside we see Luke and Jace, they're sparring, and Jace is being real hard on Luke. Like he's knocking his ass down and shit, Luke being the youngest one. Mm-hmm. And it makes sense because they got their ass kicked last week at Thanksgiving by Aemon and Aegon.
And he take that personally. He was like, you know what? I got to get my skills up.
Yeah, he's having one of those like times, if you've ever been beat up or bullied, y'all will know this feeling, but it's that feeling of after you got beat up and you be like, I should have hit that nigga, like, I should have came from behind, put him in the chokehold and been like that's how he was fighting his little brother. Like
he was reenacting.
Yeah, like, I should have cut his knees off. And then one of the people overseeing it was like, hey man,
right, like, calm
it's your
down.
Little brother, dog. What you doing?
Right, don't be out here whooping his ass.
It's like, how he gonna learn if you kill him? That don't make no sense.
Right.
But then Rhaenys comes down and she says, hey, your mama said street lights, y'all need to come inside, she want to talk to y'all. And they're like, all right. So they go inside, and in the chambers the boys see their mom struggling to give birth. Mm-hmm. And she's like, oh, your granddaddy dead. Aegon the start throne. And Jason's like, well, what's to be done about this? And she was like, well, nothing yet. I'm working on pushing this baby out of me. And he's like, well, where's Daemon? And she was like, I don't know, gone to madness to plot his war. You know how these niggas do. And then Jace was like,
and she was like, war is probably what he desires.
Now I fuck with Jace though. I do fuck with Jace. Because Jace said, leave Daemon to me. I said, look at you, little Lord Strong. Finna go downstairs and tell this nigga what's what.
Right?
Okay, bringing all that you not my daddy energy to the room. Okay, Jace.
Going in there with his chest all flared up.
Yeah, I fuck with Baylor and Jace so far. Like, I still don't see it for Ray's kids because they so soft, but I fuck with Baylor and Jace the heaviest out of all of them. And so Jace is like, I'll go talk to this nigga. And then she says, oh, whatever claims I have to the throne fall to you now. Because keep in mind, she's thinking I could die right now.
Right.
This might be the last time I talk to my son. The thing she wanted to make sure was like, you are the heir. And nothing is to be done with war or anything unless I fucking say so.
Right.
So you let these motherfuckers know. And he turned around and he had a look on his face like, oh, I know, Mom. I got you.
I got you.
Don't even worry about this shit. And so I said, okay, little Jay's about to go downstairs and tell Daemon,
he about to regulate.
Shut the fuck up. I said, okay, I see you, dog. Like, I don't think I definitely didn't have it in me at that age to be telling nobody to shut the fuck up on nobody else's behalf. I would have been in there like raising my hand timidly, like, excuse me, my mama said, they were like, shut the fuck up.
Beat it, kid. Okay.
Right. So then he goes down there and we see Daemon in the war room, and he gets informed that Corlys has survived his injuries and he's sailing out of the high tide or whatever, but they don't know where. So they don't know if he's sailing to King's Landing to go pledge allegiance to Alicent. They don't know if he's coming there to pledge allegiance to them,
or if he's going home.
Nobody knows.
No, right. They just know he out there somewhere.
So they say he survived, but we don't know whose side he on. And then Daemon was like, send ravens to some people we haven't met yet. Darkland, Massey, and Bar Iman. Or if we met them, they didn't have a lot of lines.
Right.
And then Ray screams in the background, Daemon! And he's just like, shut the fuck up. Sir Laurent asked if you want to speak to the Maester. And Daemon don't even acknowledge the Maester. Now, I don't know if this is the Maester that's going to come down and be like, we need to do an ABCD section, or
this is one of the assistants.
If he's going to advise on like some war strategy shit, whatever it is, Daemon ain't want to talk to him. So then Daemon's like, I'll fly the river run myself and inform Lord Tully's support. And then Jace comes in and says, not so fast, player.
My mama said ain't nobody supposed to do shit until she had his baby.
You not about to do a damn thing without my mama's consent. And Daemon ignores him at first. He's like, oh, it's good you're here, young prince. You can patrol the skies on Vermax. And Jay said, did you hear what I said? My mama said you aren't supposed to do shit. Slow your roll.
How we done here?
Okay.
Yes. He was like, no, my mama said.
Right. And I respected that I respected the hell out of that little boy. Cause I seen Daemon cut off my head. The energy wouldn't have been close to the same. And so then he says, Daemon tells Lord Bartimos to send the ravens. We just met Bartimos. I don't know what his job is, but he I guess he one of the lords that support them. And he says, also summon Sir Stefan. The King's Guard are needed on the Dragonmont, which I guess is like a mountain for the dragons or something, where the dragons like be sitting and chilling.
I don't know.
And so I'm guessing. No.
Okay.
And so he says to Jace, come with me, I'll show you the true meaning of loyalty. And so Jace rolls with him. They go outside to the Dragonmont. They got two people from the King's Guard. And Daemon's like, hey, y'all know who the true line of succession is. Y'all remember who the king said was the heir before death? And he was like, they was like, yeah, Rhaenyra. Says, cool. I'm gonna need y'all to go ahead and swear a new vow to the king. Refresh that shit. Updated terms and conditions.
Yes, they have changed.
Yeah, I'm gonna need you to click the OK box that you accept these agreements.
I'm gonna need for you to be able to identify the traffic light in this photo, right, so that you are real.
Yeah, and if you support that usurper, just speaking now, and as he says this, his dragon with that long ass neck lands next to him, and he says, you know, if y'all say y'all down with Aegon and them, we can give y'all a quick honorable death by dragon.
Yeah, it won't be long.
And if you don't, then you just gonna die screaming if you try to betray us later. I promise you that. On everything I love.
On my mama's name.
I'm gonna be honest. If we swear oaths before dragons, it's whatever you say it is, Jack. I mean, it's a dragon. I don't even know if this is really the best way to test loyalty, to be honest, because I'll say whatever you want me to say. You could be like, listen, we are swearing oath to Donda Academy. I'll be like, yes, we are. Yes, slavery was a choice. And it's time to go DEFCON 3. Whatever you say. Till the dragon's gone, it's however you see the world. You know what I mean? So I don't even know if this is a great test of loyalty as much as it's just, are you scared of dragons?
That's the question.
Who's not?
Are you scared of dragons?
Who the fuck is man enough to be like, actually, I'm gonna have to decline? Like, what?
I'ma click the name. No.
I would have paid $100 extra for HBO if they would have added one person to this scene that was like, no. You know? I don't think I will. Like, I'll be like, it's just, if it would have just been like Larry David in armor, being like, when you say loyalty, what do you mean by that? Looking real close in Daemon's eyes and shit.
Is it part time?
And just fucking get ate by a dragon.
You know, he getting toasted.
Yeah.
He's like, I ain't got time for this.
As he getting ate by the dragon, he's like, I disagree. Like, anyway. So, anyway, but this is
so stupid.
Yeah, this is Daemon's big. This is what real loyalty is. Like, okay. Anyway, so then Ray at the same time, it's so gross. It's so gross. But we gotta talk about it. Don't watch this part if you're squeamish. They show Rhaenyra upstairs refusing help from the handmaidens and pushing the stillborn child out of her body. It just slides off. Like when you're really fucking hungry. Y'all, I don't know if y'all ever felt this. When you're really fucking hungry and you got your food all set to eat and it just slides off the plate onto the floor. That's how the fucking baby came out.
Yeah, and one thing about this, and I hate to be like this, something that I appreciate, they show you how brutal birth is.
Oh yeah.
Like, you know, people underestimate how hard it is on a woman's body or a person's body whenever they give birth. Like, that shit ain't easy.
Yeah.
Like, and it's hard.
Yeah, take out all the sexual violence and stuff for the original series, and they still replaced it with, it's very fucking hard to be a woman in this world.
Right.
Shit, there's 2 women we know who've died in birth on this show. You know? So yeah, it's just, woo, that scene was a lot. And I can't imagine, I'm sure it was traumatic. You don't even need to write in about it. We, you know, we don't want to start the trauma hour in our feedback, but yeah, I'm sure it's very traumatic for people that have gone through that experience.
Yes.
So yeah, it was just unflinching in a way that was just like, this world is a terrible world. But yeah, so in a way, Aegon and the High Tower's betrayal, you could argue, killed her baby. Because that was kind of the way they on the show. It's like the thing that sparked this sequence of events that led to this stillbirth was the shock and the trauma of being betrayed and having the throne stolen from her.
And find out her daddy was dead all at the same time.
That honestly would be good enough reason to motherfucking like kill them all to me. But what do I know? So then Daemon comes in the room and we see she's sitting rocking with the stillborn child, and then we get a montage. She wraps the body herself as the Silent Sisters look on and cries.
She was like, I got this.
She did the whole thing from life to death. She cries and kisses the baby corpse.
And my thing is, if nothing else, this right here, all jokes aside, this showed her maturity, and it also showed that she is willing to do. This was the start of I'm willing to do whatever it takes, because that's a task. You birth the child stillborn and then going through the burial process yourself, be like, nope, I am going to do this. I'm going to see this to the end.
Yeah, I can see it that way for sure. I think, and there's also just a thing where it kind of is in line with how the character's always been. Rhaenyra's stubborn.
Yes.
Like she's stubborn. She runs sometimes on spite and on I can do it myself and I don't need no help. And so it all fit. And and honestly, it's a gut-wrenching scene and montage, but it's so fitting to the character. It's so beautiful and it sets the stakes up. But I also think it informs you on what she is, how she is, because it's not like, and now I'm gonna go kill these people. It's like she took the time to mourn this loss, but she still was about her business. Daemon, we see he goes for a walk on the beach by himself and he cries on the beach, which was also kind of heartbreaking because Daemon got that toxic masculinity in him.
He sure does.
And he probably ain't want to cry in front of Rhaenyra. And so he's
kids.
Yeah, like but how it may appear to the family may even feel like, oh, he don't care, or because they didn't get to see this moment. We saw it as an audience. And at first I thought they were showing it to be like, oh, he doesn't care. But then when I saw it in the replay and you see him break down crying, holding his sword on the beach, and you're like, oh, he's fucked up from this too.
Of course.
Of
course.
Well, Daemon goes for he went for the walk. So then we have a funeral for the baby and they burn the body Targaryen style. And then a knight in Kingsguard armor approaches and everybody cocks their swords, clack, clack.
Like, who is you?
Yeah. Like, they love a good sword clacking and just clack. Oh, no, I need to pull this out. And everybody pull their swords out. And it turns out it's Sir Eric.
Yeah, whichever one of them twins that was like, I guess.
Sir Eric is the one who freed Rhaenys, and it's with the E, I believe. So he's the one who freed Rhaenys from the castle, and the reason she was able to escape.
Right.
So this
they
ain't
got separated, but yeah.
This ain't no I guess. This nigga is about that life. Go ahead.
When they was trying to catch old boy being king, and he was standing up at the top of the steps, it was like, well, I guess that's why I said that.
Okay, yeah. Well, he's come a long way from I guess. He is team not Aegon in now.
Right, yeah, because
like he is firmly in the camp of we don't fuck with them over there.
He's like, I seen too much. I can't.
He don't got a dragon, so he done walked his lonely ass by himself in all that armor, all the way down to Dragon's Stone, so he could be like, girl, oh my god,
that is tripping.
And he didn't just come empty-handed. Like he comes and he tells everybody, I don't mean no harm. And everybody put their swords away, and he kneels on one knee, pulls out her father's crown, and it got a little emotional. And then he swears allegiance to her as a violin plays in the background, and the music, making it very emotional.
Yeah,
and he does his oath.
Yeah, he does his speech, and he was like, "I am here for you. I wouldn't have died for you." He was like, it's about you. You is my queen to be.
Yeah.
And it's everything about you, girl.
He said, I shall have no hoes.
No, none of the hoes.
I shall not snitch. I shall have no kids. I shall stand her always. I will ride on any nigga talking that shit. And then Daemon takes the crown from him, puts it on her head gently like he did Viserys when Viserys was getting on the throne for the last time. And then he kneels and says, Daemon says, "My queen," and then everybody kneels like, "Oh, the queen." Except for Rhaenys. She was standing in the background like, "You killed my son, bitch. I'm never kneeling to y'all. I'm not kneeling to none of you raggedy motherfuckers."
She the only
period.
one. She stood tall.
Because you could see on her face, like, I promised myself, I don't give a fuck how y'all get on this throne. I'm not kneeling. Just because I'm not with them, don't mean I'm definitely with y'all.
Yeah, and she looked like, bitch, I know you had something to do with my son's death.
That's what I said, yeah.
Yeah, she was like, you might put like this, you might not have pulled the trigger, but you was associated with it.
Yeah. She's like, I don't want the throne, but so then they pull out the swords out of storage. They go get the chess pieces for the war table. They turn on the LED lighting.
It was pretty.
They get the monitors. And it's wartime, baby. It's time. We got ourselves a war room. We made it. Rhaenyra comes in the room. Daemon announces her as queen. He's like, Queen Rhaenyra Targaryen, first of her name, queen of the Andals and Rhaenys and the last men, lady of the seven kingdoms, protectors of the realm, your grace. And everybody was like, oh shit. And then she stood at the table and she had to tell the guards, chill out. Because she got a contingent of guards following her at all times.
Right.
She said, hey, I'm good.
Right. Like the president, like, we got to be with you at all times. You can't do anything. We need to be sure you are safe.
She got a queen's guard. And so Rhaenyra comes over. This is the youngest black child. And she's like, I got some wine for you. And Ray was like, I guess I can drink again. But listen,
I guess I can.
Baby girl, we not going to do it the way they did me back in the day. Come on over to the table.
Cause she remember how they fucking left her out, how the fucking serving and shit.
Like, you got royal blood, you in the succession. Come on over to the table. You need to learn about this war shit too.
Right.
And then Baela looks at, because Baela is basically Rhaenyra's Rhaenys's like fave. Like, she's the one they sent to live with Rhaenys and all that stuff. And so Baela's standing next to Rhaenys, and Rhaenys gives her the nod, like, you can go on over to the table too, baby. And Baela goes over there. And that was when I realized it don't matter how tough Rhaenys try to be. She love them little black girls.
She love her grandbabies.
She got a side.
Heartless. Yeah.
She got a side. She don't have to want to be on this side. This is her side. You know what I mean? It is what it is. It's how it's gonna be. And so she tells Baela, go ahead and go over there. And Ray goes to the table. She's like, let me get a status update. And Daemon's like, all right, we got 30 knights, 100 crossbow men, 300 men at arms, a dozen or so Crips, 7 Bloods. We got the Geek Squad.
Going down the whole list.
He was saying, it was like, it didn't sound like a lot, y'all. It was a lot of, it was like Junebug and them from 3rd Street.
We got them.
Okay.
We got 8 bullets.
Yeah.
3 guns.
Right. The Monstars, not from the original Space Jam, from Space Jam 2. We got them Monstars. So then he said Dragonstone's easy to defend, so they straight there, but they don't have the numbers for war. So we done sent word. He done sent word to the loyal City Watch people that back in his police force that was down with him, but he said he don't know how many it's gonna be.
Right, because he been going for that position for too long.
And so then they named like some more of them families that they said Ravens to and shit. And they said, listen, we done sent Ravens to Celtigar, Staunton, Massey, Darkland, and Bar Iman. And we expect a word back from Jackson, Jefferson, the Freemans, and the Williams. Because all these names sound like niggas. Which ones did I make up?
You never know.
People that's never watched the show, like, which
sound
one?
The same.
But then Rhaenyra says, the Veil's gonna be on my side because we share blood with the Aarons. And then they sent Ravens to Lord Grover, and Ray is like, why? That nigga is mad wishy-washy. And Daemon was like, because Daemon told us to, and they had some looks across the table like like they wasn't fighting, but her face looked like, nigga, no, why would you do that without asking me?
Right. She was like, why? This doesn't make sense.
He was like, nigga, I thought you was gonna die in childbirth. I don't know. I was just doing shit.
Decisions.
I was mad.
I was trying to keep myself busy.
Yeah. And so but she said, he goes, don't worry, I'll fly to see Grover myself and shore up shore up everything. And they said the Starks in the North will support them because they don't forget their oaths, which goes all the way to Game of Thrones 200 years later, right?
Mm-hmm. The North never forgets.
Right. And then Ray says, Lord Boros Baratheon, he gonna need to be a reminder of his daddy promises. Now, they talked about Lord Boros Baratheon in the last episode. It was after Sir Kristen had killed, I believe it was after Sir Kristen had killed Master Malos. Mm-hmm. And it was as Alicent was leaving or some shit, or as they were closing the door, we hear as like a piece of business, the Title Lannister, I believe, brought it up and was like, he's not loyal to us, but he has 3 daughters, and a marriage proposal might shore up that relationship to get him on our side. So they did bring this up, right?
Okay, kind of in the background.
So he's up for play. Mm-hmm. And so it's who can give him the best deal. Ray doesn't trust him. No one in the room seemed to vouch for him. Everybody seemed to be like, yeah, that nigga gonna need a reminder. So they put him down as a maybe.
He's a possible.
Right. And so Ray turns to Auntie Niece and says, what about Driftmark? And Rhaenys is like, Corlys is selling for Dragonstone, so he's coming here. Mm-hmm. And Daemon says, to declare for his queen. And Rhaenys says, I don't know.
Yeah, because I don't make them decisions.
You know my name is motherfucking Bennett. When it comes to this shit, and y'all gonna have to take that up with Corlys.
Paul, and I ain't got time for that.
You're gonna have to take that up with Corlys. Mm-hmm. He'll let y'all know. And then Ray says, we'll pray for his support the way we prayed for his return to good health. And no one wants an enemy of the Valyrian fleet. So basically saying, if we get them on our side, basically Ray is accruing assets and oaths and support in a bid to get so many people amassing support that it will make the Greens back off of the crown. Like, they're going to kill us because they have too many numbers. The peaceful solution is to just see the bigger coalition and give up. That's her hope. She still isn't planning to truly go to war. It doesn't sound.
She's and truth be told, she's kind of doing the thing that her father did, because she's kind of mimicking him. Right. As far as the last thing I want to do is to go to war. That's Absolutely. Why him and Damien, when Damien came in there talking about fuck him up, he was like, that doesn't make sense. Let's do some reconnaissance. Like, let's see, let's do some research. Let's do some things and then make a smart decision. Versus just running out there and you pouring resources into something that actually might not be beneficial.
And so the enemies list, they start going through some of it. The Lannisters, and they have a fleet of ships. And then Ray says that means that if the Lannisters on that side, they won't find any allies west of the Golden Tooth. And Daemon interrupts her and says, no, River Run. And he says, no. And she looks at him like, nigga, why are you interrupting me? And he says, he tries to kind of calm it down. He's like, River Run is essential. Basically, like, River Run is west of the Golden Tooth, but they may need it too.
Don't give up on that area altogether.
And finally, this one dude says what the fuck I've been saying and what the fuck I've been thinking, and maybe everybody else has been thinking at the same fucking time, which is, yeah. What about them dragons though? Our side, got all the dragons. Why are we even talking right now about loyalty and oaths? Let's just burn that shit down, fly about 37 dragons over this bitch, and then that'll be the end of the war. And Ray tries to downplay it because she don't want to go faster war. She said, yeah, but they got dragons too.
Right.
And then Daemon said, nigga, they got 3 dragons. We got Syraxis, Melis. Your son's got Vermax, Arax, Taraxis. Bela has Moon Dancer. And Ray was like, yeah, but none of these dragons been to war so far.
And that shit matters.
And which I kept thinking, like, have the other ones? But like, is that really an excuse? But I don't know. Maybe the other one, maybe Vagar's been to war, but not I don't know. But Daemon goes, okay, cool. But what about the unclaimed dragons? Sea Smoke, it's on Driftmark. Vermithor and Silverwing reside on Dragonmont, still riderless. Then you got 3 wild dragons that nest here. So that's 6 and 7 possible. That's a Boston. Like we can run the board on these niggas. What are we doing? We are spade tight over here, and you talking about playing the Queen of Hearts. Why? And so I also got 8 eggs just in the back incubating, just sitting on
Just
the motherfucking,
baking.
just sitting on the oven, on the fire, just baking, slow roasting. It's like, why don't we just go to Harrenhal, surround King's Landing with dragons, burn that shit to the ground, kill everybody, war over with, done. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a sucker for a good burn King's Landing to the ground. Now I know that's a sensitive topic for y'all that hate the last season,
Right.
but for me, your boy, listen, they had me at burn King's Landing to the ground from season 1, episode 1. I was always hoping for that. I'm always looking forward to it. And I don't know, maybe it's been burned twice. I don't know these books. I was like, oh, is this the first burning of King's Landing? Let's do it. Let's go. But apparently that's not to be, because that he got overruled. And a messenger came, go ahead.
And if I'm not mistaken, she was like, I don't want to be the Queen of Ashes.
We'll get to that.
Okay.
So a messenger arrives in the background, and Eric goes to see about it. And he comes back to say, hey, a ship arrived, and it had a 3-headed green dragon on the sail, which is the greens, obviously, right? But they're combining their banner of the green for the High Towers with the dragon for the Targaryens, because it's Aegon the Targaryen. Aegon Targaryen is on the throne, but he's a High Tower as well. So these niggas done changed the goddamn logo.
They done changed the money. They done changed the money stamp.
Just fucking, getting rid of all the good
logo.
China. You know what I'm saying? Just
it was like, we don't want nothing. We don't want none of this shit in your mama's China cabinet.
These niggas stay redecorating some shit. Damn, they had plans. How you get this? It's been
Let's repaint the walls. I don't like these color schemes.
It can't have been that long. Y'all already got your own sales. Well, how much planning was y'all doing?
Oh, they've been planning the whole time. I don't have them out there. As soon as they seen that nigga's health decline, he had this shit going.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Because trust the seamstress had to. You had to get them a heads up. They couldn't have made that shit overnight.
That's what I'm saying. Was they just clapping like, pull the banners up? Oh, I'm sorry. He was just coughing. We thought Viserys had died. Put the banners back away. I'm sorry.
Yeah, because this is back in the day. They had to hand do that shit. I don't even know if they had sewing machines.
Yeah. So then is Otto Hightower and them. They meet on the bridge to Dragonstone, mirroring episode 2, I believe it was, when they met on the bridge of Dragonstone, and Daemon was up in there with Mysaria, and he was like, I stole a dragon egg because I got a baby on the way and all this shit he was lying about.
Yes, he was.
And who came to the rescue then? Rhaenyra.
Yes, she did.
She flew in on her dragon and calmed shit down and kept everybody from fighting. So this scene mirrors exactly what happened. Daemon and his contingent of men come out there on the bridge first. Otto and them come out there too. And Otto is like, hey, you know the vibes. I'm here on behalf of the Dowager Queen Alicent, mother of the only real king, King Aegon, second of his name, Lord of Protectors of the Seven Kingdoms, aka him, aka that nigga, aka young Weinstein. Where is the princess? Because that's who I'm supposed to talk to, not you. And that's when Rhaenyra flies down on Syrax, landing behind them just like before,
and walk through them like
walking through them like y'all better not touch me like before. And then she turns around, and even her saddle had a crown, and she's wearing her dad's crown. And that's when I did notice, this is a very quick thing. Y'all can go back and watch it too. It's only like 1 second long. But when they show the group of men with Otto, the knights, and including Sir Arik, the other brother, they got the Black Meister Orwell with them, Grand Meister Orwell. Hey man, when this nigga seen that dragon, oh, real tears. Oh my, go back and watch it, y'all. This nigga look like, why am I fucking with these white people? Why they got me out here?
He was like, I've never been this close to him. I am normally in here like stitching niggas up and delivering babies and making, pouring potions. The fuck I'm doing out here with y'all?
He look like, don't y'all see that dragon too? That's not, am I the only one that see this motherfucking dragon? Why are we still here?
Why are y'all not flinching?
This could have been a raven. Why are we talking?
This could have been a raven.
If we get 8 on this bridge, that's it for all of us. And so, but yeah, he was good. Oh my God. So then Ray is like, like what y'all want? You know what I'm saying? And he calls her a princess, and she says, I'm the queen. And he says, listen, if you swear obeisance to Aegon, swear to him in his wisdom and desire for peace. I said, wisdom, is that what we calling Aegon? The wise? Is that what we doing, y'all? We've seen this boy's raps. Anyway, he says, in Aegon's wisdom and desire for peace.
Stop doing that. Stop telling lies, bro. Stop telling lies, bro. You heard what I just told you, right?
It's Alicent is the only one that
is keeping that peace,
has that wisdom and desire for peace. He says he gonna let you have Dragonstone. It's yours. It's gonna pass to Jace, your oldest, when he dies. Lucerys gets Driftmark, and all the Valyrian lands and holdings and titles will be his. And then you and Daemon kids, they gonna get a place of high honor in the King's Court. Aegon will be the squire, Viserys the cupbearer, and the king will pardon anyone, knight or lord, who has been down with your little Ray rebellion and shit. That's the most generous terms we can offer. And if I'm being honest, those are very generous terms. They really are. It almost costs you nothing other than just you don't get the throne. But before Ray can even answer, Daemon says, I'd rather feed my sons to the dragon than have my sons carry shields and cups for your drunken usurper cunt of a king.
So no.
So that's a no. Okay, I'm taking it as a no.
Okay, now back to the steak in the table.
He couldn't help himself.
My baby ain't gonna be pouring no drinks.
He could not help himself. He had to insert himself. She didn't even get the answer.
Her wig is coming off. Her wig is coming off. Her wig's coming off.
And so Otto says, well, Aegon already on the throne. He wearing the crown. He got the sword. The people done synced it. He got all the legitimacy. The Starks, the Tullys, and the Baratheon houses have all received generous terms to reconsider their loyalty and be on our side.
After you threaten them.
And Ray says, they already swore to me. And Otto approaches her. And it was so crazy. The way that when he started approaching her, you could just hear everybody just like pull their swords out.
On both sides.
Everybody was
clack,
clack.
Was pulling them at the sheath.
Like everybody was like, oh, here they come.
We're gonna have to shoot.
And so he comes, but he approaches her and he just talks dirty to her, like talks mean. He's just like, he said, stale oaths will not put you on the Iron Throne, princess. The succession changed the day your father died. I regret that you and he were the last to see the truth of it. And then Ray approaches this nigga, and then his side start clacking guns like, and then she said, you are no more the hand than Aegon is king, fucking traitor, and takes his hand pin and throws that shit down on the ground like, fuck you and fuck the hand. And then Otto calls over the Grand Maester, the black one, and he says, Grandmeister, come on over here. And Orwell comes over there and he hands a piece of paper to Otto, who then gives it to Rhaenyra. And it's the piece of paper that when they were children in the garden by the face tree, that Rhaenyra had ripped out of the book. The story about the old school queen that had went to Dorne and got married and said we wasn't running no more, blah blah blah. So this of course triggers a memory in Rhaenyra that only Alicent and Rhaenyra truly share,
right?
And it's to reach her heart. And he says, Otto says, Queen Alicent hasn't forgotten the love you once had for each other. No blood need be spilled. The realm can carry on in peace. And Ray starts crying. And he says, Queen Alicent eagerly awaits your answer. And Daemon interrupts again. And he says, Alicent can have her answer now stuffed in her father's mouth along with his withered cock. Let's end this mama's farce. Sir Eric, bring me Sir Hightower so I can have the pleasure myself.
He was like, I said the answer was no.
Right. He's like,
what you didn't hear the first time.
Right. You say you must be smoking crack. Okay. He's like,
You've really been smoking that crack shit. You've been on that wet shit. PCP, marijuana. What you smoking, nigga?
He was not okay with it. Okay.
No.
He was ready to fight. And so he says, Ray says, no, I'm not gonna, don't fight. You'll get the queen will get her answer in the morning. And so then Daemon's like, we can't kill her. Put the sword away.
He's like, guys, guess we're not fighting tonight. Everybody say, oh.
Yeah. So later that night, Daemon tells him it's hard for a man to kill a dragon, but dragons kill dragons all the time. He in the war room telling everybody what the plan is. He's like, we got the most dragons. Why aren't we just killing motherfucking dragons? And Ray says she's considering the terms of the offer because when dragons go to war, everything burns.
It does.
And I don't want to rule over a kingdom of ashes.
Yep. And when she said that, I thought about Cersei, because you know what Cersei was? Queen of the motherfucking ashes.
Yeah.
She was like, bitch, everything gonna burn. She fucked up the sept. She was like, I am hook or crook.
Right.
I'm gonna be queen. I don't care if it's 5 people. I'm gonna be queen. And she didn't give a damn. And when you like that, a lot of times it does not end well.
Well, Daenerys literally was queen of the ashes. Like she burned down King's Landing and was literally sitting on the throne that you could see out the back because the wall was gone because she burned that shit down.
Right.
So then she Daemon says, well, she says this stuff about like everything gonna burn, we shouldn't go to war. Daemon's like, that's your fucking daddy talking. And she's like, my father is dead. He chose me as his successor to defend the realm, not cast it headlong into war. Now keep in mind, it's a room full of people right now. They arguing in front of. And Daemon says, the enemy has declared war. What are you going to do about it? And then Ray says, clear the room. And everybody leaves except her and Daemon. And Daemon's standing by the fireplace, pissed. And she says, does the promise of war excite you? And he says, you cannot bend the knee to the high towers. They stole your birthright. They killed your cousin right in front of your motherfucking face. What you gonna do about that? You know? And then she was like, if you could take the Iron Throne without putting Otto Hightower's head on a spike, would you? Basically saying like, this is really more about you getting revenge.
Right.
And he says, are you not angry? And she says, I should declare war because I'm angry. He said, no, because it's your duty as queen to crush rebellion. And she said, you know, my duty to the realm goes beyond my own ambition. A Song of Ice and Fire. And he said, what the fuck are you talking about, bitch? Ain't nobody know about no Song of Ice and Fire.
Everybody go, every time they mention that, everybody like me, who?
Right.
They're like, what the fuck is that? I don't know no Ice and Fire. Is that new band, new group? Who is this?
Who is this saying that? Who said that?
Who said that?
Who said that?
That's how he looked at her when she said.
Who said that?
He's like, nigga, I have never heard of this shit. You sound crazy.
You sound nuts.
And she was like, the song of ice and fire, the conqueror's dream. My father shared it with me when he named me heir. Now not gonna lie. I was watching this live and I was on Twitter. I was live tweeting it. And I tweeted right before this scene. I said, like 40 minutes into this episode, Daemon has made the most sense of anybody. Every fucking thing he said, I've been like, yep. Even down to like he didn't try to usurp the throne. He wasn't trying to be unloyal to Rhaenyra. Like he was like, you the queen. But when he said we need to go to war and we need to fucking crush these niggas and just be done with it, he was making sense to me. I mean, y'all know how I approach this thing. It's not about rooting for people. It's just strategy. It's like, that's a good strategy. Kill them now. Roll up with the dragons. They only got 3.
Before it becomes a problem.
Just do it now. You don't have to fight no 50-year war. You just kill them. But as soon as I tweeted that, this nigga went Ike Turner. Okay. He grabbed her by her motherfucking throat.
Mm-hmm.
He grabbed her by her throat, started choking her. And he was like, my brother was a slave to his omens and portents. Anything to make his feckless reign appear to have purpose. Dreams didn't make us kings. Dragons did. And then he stopped choking her and they just stared at each other like Puff Daddy and that dude on The Voice or whatever the fuck. Like, there was like a stare off for a second. She was looking like, is he crazy? And he's looking like, bitch, is you crazy? They both look like, bitches, you crazy to each other.
Yeah, and the thing is, when Rhaenyra was talking to her daddy about the dragons, his thing was like, hey, dog, when these dragons get involved, it becomes something completely different. And I guarantee you, these are conversations that he never had with his brother.
Well, also, Daemon is very much a like, we have dragons.
Right.
We are on the throne. Like, he's a very much like power justifies power. We don't need to do all this winning hearts and minds shit if we'll have hearts and minds because we run shit. That's how he looks at it.
Yeah, and and her daddy was of the philosophy like it's like a nuke. It's like I got the nuke and everything is the reason for me to pull out the nuke. That doesn't make sense.
But nah, he choked the shit out of her. And
yeah, I was like, oh shit.
Not in a like so when I say choke the shit out, if for those that aren't watching the show, he didn't choke her in like a he's on top of her, she about to die type of choking. Mm-hmm. He choked her in like a 50 Shades of Grey or some shit, or like a porn movie choke, where like the goal isn't to kill you, but it's to assert dominance on the fact that like you better shut the fuck up while I'm talking. Still very fucked up and abusive, don't get me wrong, but like it wasn't the deranged like, oh, he's a murderer moment. It was still just scary because he had been acting right the whole episode, and then he choked the shit out of her. And I'm not gonna lie though, he choked the shit out of her. I said he was wrong for that. Mm-hmm. He made some good points.
And I'm about to say she better than me because I'd have said, bitch, you ever put your motherfucking hands on me again, I would kill you.
Yeah, he was wrong. And he shouldn't have put his hands on her and all that good stuff. But I felt like he made some good points, which is like,
you can make your points without
I know, Karen, this is not a okay, just what, fuck it. Don't worry about it. He should have choked her. He was right. That's what I was really saying.
No.
And no, I'm crazy. I lost my mind for a second, y'all. I'm no longer the Rod that has done 2,600 episodes or the man that's been married to this woman 20 years. I just lost my mind. He needed to choke her. He needed to.
No, he didn't.
I agree with that.
I will let you finish. You were saying he did have points was made.
He made points.
Yes.
Even like it was like, damn, he shouldn't have did that. Mm-mm. That was a good point. Like both things existed at the same time in my mind. Where I was like, I was like,
they both were problematic.
You can't govern based off of prophecies. Because y'all gonna fuck around and lose the war talking about the king of the north that's 200 years, y'all won't even be alive for this shit.
Right, y'all gonna be dead and gone.
Y'all will be long dead and gone, waiting on this motherfucking prophecy to come true. And at the same time, you didn't need to put your hands on it, dog. You could have said that. You could have said that from the other side of the room. You didn't need to. So anyway, Ray realizes from this, Lucerys never told you. And then Daemon looks like, I still think it's crazy. Bye, and he leaves.
Mm-hmm.
And at this time, we cut to Corlys, who's sleeping in a bed, sweating, beating out the fever, I guess. And he awakens to see Rhaenys sleeping by his bedside. And his first words were, "I've had men whipped for falling asleep on their watch. You are no man." And I said, that's a weird fucking way to say thank you to your wife for watching over your dumb ass.
Right.
What, nigga? And he was, and then she said, "You abandoned me when I most needed you.
Mm-hmm. Fucking ran off the war.
Both our children stolen from us. I needed you. Baela and Rhaenyra needed you, and you abandoned us for more adventure at sea, as is your way." Which is also the same thing about his son that Rhaenyra was saying. And maybe that's another area that Rhaenys and Rhaenyra have in common, right? Because they both were married to these Valyrian men who did love seafaring and swashbuckling adventures and shit, and they felt abandoned by them in times of where they needed support and needed to be a family unit.
Right.
And anyway, she goes, "As is your way." But girl, let me tell you what happened on Twitter that day, girl. Listen. Okay.
Let me tell you what happened when you was logged off.
These motherfuckers done stole the kingdom. Oh my God.
They is tripping.
Oh my, did you hear? And he says, "Well, I had no other place to turn. I lost everything." She said, "Nigga, we lost everything. We
ain't no you. We
shut the fuck up." Now let me tell you what happened on Twitter. She gave him a little wet towel to cool herself and shit from the fever. And then she was like, "So you heard about the new king?" He said, "Yeah, I heard we got a new king." And she was like, "The Viserys dead. You know, the stranger cast a long shadow over this family." Now the stranger's like their version of the Grim Reaper.
Okay.
And so she was like, oh, also, let me tell you this. Your brother dead. Vaemon dead too.
I forgot. I was like, oh yeah, he don't know that.
Yeah. And he was like, what?
He was all out the loop.
He said, "Let me sit up for this one." Now, what happened? He said, girl, he ran up in the motherfucking throne room,
running his lips.
He started calling them little kids bastards in front of everybody.
He got his goddamn head chopped off.
He said, "He a bastard. They a bastard.
Everybody a bastard."
Daemon took his head clean off at the motherfucking down to the white meat. And he was like, "What?" Well, you know what? I can't even be that surprised. Heedless ambition has always been a Valyrian weakness. And you making me think about my own ambition. You was right.
Yeah, and the thing is, his brother has been like that the whole time. When they was out at the war, and you know they was like, the men is down, we tied. He was up there talking shit, and so it's like, oh, this is your jam, just to kind of buck up against authority.
But you know what it is though? He also is like that.
Yes, he is.
So like, it was him. It wasn't just him calling his brother out. It was him recognizing the fault in his own ambition and chase for the Iron Throne, to get his blood on the Iron Throne. And it's cost his family so fucking much. And so he said, "You was right, Rhaenys. I reached too far for nothing." Because at the end of the day, they stole the throne. It didn't even fucking matter.
They lost their kids over this.
All my machinations and acquiescence to them bastard babies and shit, it didn't really fucking matter because my name ain't on that throne. As he said, "Our pursuit of the Iron Throne is at an end. We shall declare for no one. We will retire to high tide to be content with our grandchildren." Which is probably what Rhaenys wanted to hear for years.
Yes! She was like, "This is what I told your ass years ago."
But guess what?
It's too late now.
She don't want to hear that right now. Mm-hmm. That's what she wanted to hear years ago. It's too late for that. She said, "Nigga, no. Jace, Luke, and Joff are claimants to the throne. Them boys will not be safe as long as Aegon is the king. So actually, no.
And our
we can't just go and declare Switzerland and go back to high tide. It's not gonna be safe for nobody we love."
Right. And eventually the war gonna come to us whether we want it to or not.
Right. So she said, nah. And he said, "Man, fuck them kids. Them ain't my blood. You said so yourself. Rhaenyra's complicit in our son's death. That girl destroyed everything she touched." And then Rhaenys says, "That girl is holding the realm together at the present."
because she's
every man around that table urges her to go to war. She's the only one practicing some restraint.
Yes. Yeah, because on low, she just been in the background looking.
Right.
And they be like, can we go to war yet? Can we go to war yet? Can we go to war? Can we go to war? She was like, no.
Right. And he's like, I'm sorry I didn't return from the war sooner. She said, it's all right. You here now. Okay.
Hey, should have been with you. Should have been right by me.
Should have brought you home a long time ago, but it's fine. You are here now. Let's fucking go.
Let's
nigga.
go.
So then we cut to Ray at the table, and the men is talking war, and they all like, oh, nigga, you just be in the castle. You don't know nothing about this motherfucking war, bitch. And the other one like, oh, nigga, I'll fucking send 20 soldiers to kill them soldiers and shit. And I'll fucking cross his ass over and all this shit. And then Corlys comes in with that cane, black acting. And he says, Ray says, it's good to see you. And he goes, I'm sorry to hear about your daddy. He was a good man. He asked what Daemon is. She said he got other concerns that demand his attention. He said, all right, cool. Looking at this table, seem like you ain't got enough allies to really make a claim for the throne. There's a lot of chess pieces on the other side.
Right.
And she says, well, we hope Aaron, Baratheon, and Stark will declare support. He said, hope is a fool's ally. Agreed, my nigga. Agreed. Like, you need to shore that shit up. Hoping people come around, that ain't worked too well in the Game of Thrones era, okay? And so she says, Aaron and Baratheon share my blood with my house. All of them swore oaths to me. And he said, as did the Hightower house. Remember when they swore oath? Remember that? And then what they doing now? Still in the throne. And she says, as did you, Lord Corlys. You swore oath. And the blocking in this scene is beautiful. So the way that it's done is he comes in with Rhaenys. But once he stands by the table, it's him on one side and Rhaenyra is on another side, and Rhaenys is literally standing over her shoulder. And both Rhaenys and Rhaenyra are wearing those black colors. Rhaenys's hands are clasped together in front of her. The kids are all standing together at another end of the table, all the grandbabies. And Corlys looks over and says, your father's realm was one of honor and justice. Our houses are bound by common blood and common cause. The Hightower treason cannot stand. You have the full support of our fleet and house, your grace. Now, Corlys actually has been to war, as has his fleet. So this is not no training exercise. They done killed niggas. So this is a big get. And she goes, Rhaenyra says, you honor me, Lord Corlys. And she turns over her shoulder, Princess Rhaenys, which was awesome that she acknowledged Rhaenys. Right. Because at that moment, like I said, when she nodded to Baylor to go to the war table, I said, Rhaenys is on their side. She don't like it. She don't want to necessarily be, but she's not going to let her grandbabies go to war with no support when she could have helped.
Right.
And so Rhaenyra still is holding strong. She's like, I appreciate y'all, but I said to my bannermen, I'm not going to throw the first punch. And Rhaenys smiles back at her because I think Rhaenys is like, that's what I like. That's what I admire about you. You're not just jumping to war. You're not just like, I'm mad
because it comes.
I want revenge, you know? So now Rhaenys and Rhaenyra working together. They had a nigger navy, but a navy nonetheless. Shout out to Yahoo. And Corlys looks over to her and says, you sure? You don't want to throw the first punch? Because you know what not throwing the first punch in war means people die on your side. And she says, it's not that I'm just standing still and I'm standing fast, but I am assuring my allies, I'm making sure I got all my people before we go to war.
Yeah, because you go to war, you need to, like you said, hope is a fool errand. Let's confirm this shit. Let's don't be out here running when you actually don't have true numbers.
So Corlys tells her, oh, by the way, you know when I was in a coma? Turns out I defeated the Triarchy. I took over the Stepstones. I own that shit now. I armed it with a garrison of troops. We control the shipping lanes in the narrow seas. We can block the shipping to the King's Landing anytime, hopefully within like right now, if not within the next couple of days. And once we cut off their trade routes, we can just slowly bleed them dry. And Rhaenys says, I'll take my dragon Meleys, and I'll fucking patrol the sky over that way and make sure that everything's cool.
I go myself.
Listen, that's a power couple right there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's a power couple. They was like, we got our part taken care of. You know what I'm saying? So I just black excellence all over the place. And then that's when Lord Bartimos suggested they could surround King's Landing, lay siege to the Red Keep, cut off the sea supply routes, and force a surrender. And Ray was like, okay, but we're gonna need the support from Winterfell, the Eyrie, and Storm's End. And she's like, and it was like, we can send ravens. And Jay says, her oldest son says, no. We don't need to see no ravens. Send us. Let us be envoys. We show up on dragons, secure their support, show a force. They go, oh, look, these niggas got dragons. They for real. Mm-hmm. And then that'll get everybody on our side. And she says, that's a good idea. You know what? Y'all do that. Go see. You gonna go to the Eyrie and Winterfell for Lady Jane Arryn and Cregan Stark. The Starks always keep their vows and shit. So like those, they're longer drives, but you handle that. She gonna send her the youngest of her bastard boys. Well, not even the youngest, the second oldest, Luke. She gonna send Luke to the Eyrie. She gonna send Luke to the Storm's End to see Boros Baratheon.
That's just up the street.
Right. It's a close drive. Won't even be he should be right back. She says, but keep in mind, Baratheon is the one that they're like, we not sure about his loyalty. He need to be reassured. He need to be whatever the fuck. And she says they must remind them of their oaths and the cost of breaking them. And so then she writes the letters and they go out to the veranda and she sends the kids off. She is like, listen, it's been said that the Targaryens are closer to gods than men, and maybe the Iron Throne make us feel that way. But if we're gonna serve the Seven Kingdoms, we must answer to their gods, and that's the fucking stranger and all the list. Yeah, that whole list of motherfuckers. So she made them swear on the Bible of the seven or whatever the fuck. Like, hey, swear to this. That y'all just gonna go there as messengers,
right?
Don't be starting nothing, don't touch nothing,
right.
Don't break nothing,
don't be going up there acting fools in these people's houses,
right? Don't y'all embarrass me in this house, okay? Y'all just go in there, don't y'all be fighting or nothing,
right? Go up there and turn your ass around and come right back.
Come right the fuck back. You go right up the street and you come right back. And I swear on the Bible.
Don't be detouring. Don't be doing. Don't be going to the friend's house. I said go there and come back.
I don't want to hear nothing. So they say, okay, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna do that, mama. Luke swears right away, the youngest one. He's like, yes, mama. And then Jace, the oldest, is like, okay, mom. And he give her that serious face, like, I know what you mean. And then
right, because it was more towards him, like, boy, don't be going to acting the fool if something go wrong. Like,
so she tells him Cregan Stark is around his age, so y'all should be able to find something that y'all interested in. And then she tells Luke, look, Lord Boros is a proud man. He gonna be proud that you even like showed up to his house. He gonna honor you as a host because he's like a prince of the realm on a dragon. And she says it's the shortest flight, so you should be right back. You should receive a very warm welcome. And he says, yes, your grace. And she's like, go to it then. And then we see them fly off on their dragons, but it's 3 dragons that take off. So I imagine like maybe Baela's going to or something.
No, remember whatchamacallit? She going over there for Corlys.
Oh yeah, okay, there you go. Thank you, Karen. Because I didn't. So
yesterday I just
the other one was Meleys. Okay, cool. So Rhaenys is taking her dragon. All right, cool. So then I gotta say, showing up on a dragon without calling first, hell of a statement.
It is.
Like, you pull up on a dragon, that's saying something. Anyway, So then we also get this very quick scene. Daemon goes down into the dragon keeping cave and sings an old Valerian song with nothing but a torch. And eventually he ends up kneeling, singing a song, puts the torch down, and a big ass dragon rears his head and blows fire in the cave.
Lights up the whole cave.
And he keeps singing. And I guess he's claiming this dragon. Now, a bunch of people said, well, he's already bonded with a dragon. He can't have another dragon. To which I say, I don't know that.
I don't know that either.
If last time I checked, Daenerys had 3.
Yeah, she could ride them all.
So I'm not even assuming that you got to have 1 dragon per person. I actually don't know the rules. And Daemon is definitely crazy enough to try some shit.
Come on.
And be fucking riding with 2 dragons and shit. This nigga is crazy and I don't know. So I'm not assuming anything right now. Also, the littlest black girl don't got a dragon yet. And she seemed like about dragon taming age. So I don't know what the rules are. You know, I don't know how, like, could you ride 1 dragon, but then the other dragons do what your bidding? That's what Daenerys did, you know? So don't give me the line. I don't know the rules. Okay. So, and I also love how people say shit. That's what this show thrives off of, is telling you some rules and being like, just kidding. Like that's why I'd be surprising people. It'd be like, you can't kill a king. It's like, yes, you can. You can absolutely kill a king. So yeah, anyway, he claims I guess he's gonna claim this dragon or tame this dragon or something with this dragon. I don't know the rules. That dragon was big and scary. Then last we get Lucerys pulling up on a cloudy ass, storms in, it's raining. He's on his little Scooty Puff Jr. dragon. Okay, the dragon was small.
Yeah, my first dragon.
Yeah, Fisher Price, my first dragon. And so the guards don't even seem impressed or scared when he lands with this dragon.
Right.
Now, I'm not gonna lie. I was shocked. Because, I mean, it's still a dragon. And it's not like it was the size of a horse. It still was like the size of a fucking, like, a fairly big SUV or something. It was big. It was big. And so this kid pulls up on a dragon, and these niggas was really like, oh, okay. Hey, how you doing, Luke? And he was like, yeah, man, I'm here to, oh, you hear this big ass roar. And you look in the background, it's Vhagar.
And he is like fucking size of a goddamn roller coaster.
Now, if you remember Vhagar is the biggest dragon alive. He's the one that Aemon claimed out from underneath them little black girls because they was moving too slow.
Yep, he said.
And so this dragon being parked there already means Aemon is there.
And you know what I would have did at that period of time? I'd be like, you know what? Here's the note for my mama. I'm gonna truck it on back home.
I would have Homer Simpson into the bushes so fast.
Yep, I'd have gave them that letter and turned my ass right on back where the fuck I came from. Be like, mama, you said not, you said don't fuck it up, and I didn't fuck it up.
This is exactly why I always ask, who all gonna be there?
Come on.
Before I commit to anything, okay? Because you never know. But Lucerys is trying to do the honorable thing by his mama. So he's like, I'm here to talk to Lord Burroughs. And they said, all right then. And they escorted him in. And we see Burroughs sitting on the throne. And Aemon is already there standing off to the side. And Lucerys like, hey, I bring a message from my mama. She just had wanted me to tell y'all that and then Burroughs goes, you know, it's funny that you came here. Because I also got a message from the king today. King or queen, the house of the dragon doesn't even know who rules it. What's in your mama's message? And Luke hands over the letter. And Burroughs said, now you know I can't read. And he goes, give me a Meister so they can read this shit.
I can't read.
And the Meister comes over. Luke looks at Aemon and then cocks his sword. Clack, clack. And then the Meister reads the letter. And then he tells Burroughs what it says in his ear, and Burroughs gets mad. He said, remind me of my father's oath? King Aegon at least came with an offer, my swords and banners for a marriage pact. And he points over to his $3. He says, if I do as your mother bids, which of my daughters will you wed, boy? And Luke says, I can't marry because I'm already betrothed. And Burrow says, nigga, if you don't get back on your dragon and go tell your mama that I'm not just a dog she can summon up when she needs to go to war. And Luke says, I'll tell her right away then. And then Aemon says, wait a motherfucking minute. I know.
Like, oh.
I know this did not just happen.
I know that ain't who I think it is.
Ah! No. You done took my eye, and you are not about to get away with this bullshit. You owe me an eye, boy. And he didn't just say wait. He said wait, my Lord Strong, which you know that's their trigger. He said, did you really just think you could steal my brother Strong with no cost? And Luke says, I'm not gonna fight. My mama told me, I'm a messenger, not a warrior.
Yeah, I'm not supposed to be out here fighting in the streets.
I'm rubber, you are glue.
That's what it said.
And Aemon says, nigga, I ain't want to fight your ass. I'll kill you. That's so easy. I want that eye. You owe me an eye. And he pulls off his eye patch to reveal this nigga is blinging underneath that eye patch. He got a sparkling gem in his eye hole.
That nigga got an infinity stone in that eye.
It made him look cool as hell.
Right?
I said, this is the last thing we need. It's already hard enough to not see this guy as the motherfucking heir apparent to the throne. But now he got blinging eyes and motherfucking cool scars and shit and the biggest dragon. Damn, this nigga overpowered the shit. And so
he's leveled up really high.
Yeah. The coolest and dopest character and the scariest one. And so
he's your final boss in the game.
He says, I will not blind you. One will serve. I'm going to take that eye and I'm going to give it to my mama. And Luke says, of course, no. And Amos says, oh, so you're a craven as well as a traitor. And he starts coming over towards him and saying, give me that eye, boy. And then Lord Burroughs is like, hey, man, y'all can't, what y'all doing?
First of all, if you was beefing at a wedding, you should have been beefing at that wedding. Why would you bring this to somebody else's club?
Okay.
Don't be spilling no blood on my floor, and then I got to be accountable. I got to tell everybody that y'all acted a fool in my house. Nope, take your shit outside.
It's upsetting me in my home, girl, because we feel like, well, damn, if you can't go to bed no chase, where the hell could you go?
Right.
Where can you go?
You can't go to Lord Burroughs. Where the hell can you go? You ain't gonna be fighting under here. Stop bringing all that bullshit to the club. And so he says, Kingsguard, escort Lucerys back to his dragon. So then Luke goes outside, hops on his Power Wheels dragon. And before he hops on, he tells it in High Valyrian, focus, pay attention, focus, be calm and obey, Arax. Now let's fly.
Talking to himself.
I think they're trying to emphasize that you don't have control over your dragon like it's a fucking car.
Agreed.
It's an animal and it's smart and it has a mind of its own.
It does.
So like they may ride dragons, but they don't completely like tell. It's not like dragon go to the left, you know. Like it's like yeah. So like shit can happen, and so he's like calm down. And also dragons respond to your emotional state. So I'm sure he was in a, like you said, talking to himself almost. Anyway, so then he hops on the dragons. It's storming cats and dogs now, and they take off, and it's the scariest fucking scene they filmed in a while.
Yes, it is.
Because you can't really see a lot in front of you. This nigga got
what's happening around you. He out there with his polar dragon with the training wheels on, trying to fly home. Mama said it was gonna be a quick flight.
Yeah, it's thundering, it's lightning, and at first you just hear the wind and the noise, and then at some point they show us the like underneath angle of this dragon, and the lightning strikes, and above it you can see the gigantic, it has to be at least 50 times the size, I'm not exaggerating, at least 50 times the size. You see Vagar above them like a bird of prey, just fucking flying above him, dwarfing his little fucking dragon that has the baseball cards and the spokes.
It's like the little dragon that could. And it's also one of those things too, to where you're looking and you're like, oh, this is a child who has never been to war, really don't know about tactics and things like that, you know. And I was like, oh, this
ain't no tactics for a dragon that's 50 times bigger, Karen. There's nothing he can do.
No, it's not. But
it's like if you had a fucking bicycle in Iraq, nigga, you're just gonna die. It doesn't matter the age, anything. It could have been Daemon on that dragon. It could have been. He was dead. It was like, what the fuck? It was such an obvious, like. And I remember when Jace volunteered. I literally tweeted this. Shout out to Chris Levin. I tweeted at the time when Jay said we should send us mother instead of the Ravens. I said that's a good idea unless they beat you to them, because then you're just a fucking hostage. If they're like, if someone's already sworn loyalty and you fly up and they're like, hey, I gotta, remember my mama, and they be like, nigga, you a hostage now. You dead now. It's a war. We not trying to be friends.
Particularly with the baby, it's like, well, you might have should have sent somebody with him. I don't know. Like, I mean, but still, it's nothing you could have done, because who would have planned for that nigga to already be there? Yeah,
and it don't matter who the fuck the it doesn't matter who the fuck the rider of the dragon would have been. Agreed. It was a wrap. It was a wrap. Mm-hmm. So anyway.
Yeah, because I think if Rhaenyra would have known that, she would have never sent him.
She hadn't considered it, but also I think she may have sent him. I really think she may, because she was thinking it's not war.
Right, it's not war.
She was thinking, and both of them, Allison too, they both think this can be ended without bloodshed. It's just a matter of amassing the most support.
Right.
And then we won't actually have to fight and kill people. We'll just go, oh, I'll back down because you got more people than me.
Right. And you know, with you sending a child, it's like, okay, we're not gonna fuck a kid up.
That's what she was thinking.
Right.
So then you see Vhagar and Aemon menacing Luke and Irax, flying close, laughing.
Yeah, he thought it was a joke.
Teasing, clawing and biting at him and shit. And Luke eventually flies into a crevice small enough for him and his dragon to fit, but not Vhagar.
Right.
To which I said, that's where I would live now. I'll be like, oh, okay, I set up a nice tent on this ledge here, and apparently I live in Crevice Mountain right now. Bitch, if my mama looking for him, tell me 123 Crevice Street, because that's where the fuck I stay.
That's why I would have camped out. We'd have been flying low, bitch.
It would have been, we would have just been down there. I was like, how you getting home? Nigga, this is home. We home now. We eat.
That's where we stay. We
eat fish and we stay on this ledge. That's what we do. But Aemon flies overhead patrolling, saying in Valerian, you owe me a debt, boy. And then Luke and Arax surface from below and shoot. Arax shoots fire into Vhagar's face. Even though Luke was telling Arax, no, don't, in Valerian. So the dragons have a mind of their own. This dragon been getting menaced by this bigger dragon. It said, here, have some of these flames, bitch.
Right.
Leave me alone.
Leave me alone. Leave me alone.
And then Aemon tells his dragon to serve him and not retaliate. So Aemon is like, hey, listen to me. Obey me. Don't, in High Valerian, like, don't fucking kill that dragon. So the intentions, once again, the tragic Shakespearean intentions, he did not mean to retaliate. Luke did not mean to instigate, but the dragons have mind of their own.
Right. And it's also, like you said, the dragon was picking up his energy of being scared.
Much like a gun in a Republican household, it had a mind of its own. It's never the owner's fault. Never. And so Aemon tells his dragon to serve him. Luke makes it into a clearing, and the storm is over.
That was so pretty. He like literally flew above the storm.
The clouds are it's like the eye of the storm or something. He flew through the storm.
Yeah, he flew.
The clouds are clear. There's a moment of peaceful tranquility. There's no more thunder and lightning. And Vhagar comes from underneath and chops that Huffy dragon in two. Okay.
I did not see this coming. I was like, oh no.
Huffy, I seen it coming. Huffy, the magic dragon, gone. Okay. And so is that little boy with it. Chomped it, didn't even eat him. I just bit him in half and said, fuck you, bitch.
Just chomped him in half.
Burn that. Okay.
Burn me in the face, bitch.
I just felt so bad for Luke.
Me too.
Oh my God. Oh, I guess in the end he just wasn't strong enough. So after that happens, we also see Aemon is like shocked and saddened because he didn't mean for that to happen.
And I was like, oh, he didn't mean that. He was just fucking with him. He did not mean that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so then lastly, we get Daemon coming into the war room at Dragonstone, and he tells Rhae, obviously we don't hear it, but we see he tells her that her son is dead.
Mm-hmm. And what's this? 2 kids in one day?
Yeah.
That was not going to go well.
And I don't know if it was one day because I think some time passed in the montage, but still in a very short period of time.
Right.
And she like touches her stomach when he tells her this, which does remind you that she just lost that child. And we get a long look at her back as she's being told this news. And we see like her grieving and clearly upset by it. And then at the same time, she turns around and the camera like not zooms in, but like closes in on her face.
Mm-hmm.
And her fucking face is so intense, even with the tears coming down. It's so scary, and you can just see.
Yeah. She was not here.
And that's the very last scene from season 1.
Mm-hmm. You can just tell when she turned around. I was like, it's like you could see the piece leaving. Like she was like, oh, we could do this piece with it. She was like, my baby died? Like that nigga killed my baby?
She tried it. She tried to give a piece a chance.
Yeah, she was like, She was like, we killing the kids?
Okay, fuck you too, you fat bitch ass motherfucker. Now what?
That's how it seemed that she was feeling. And I said, yeah, it's not. You tried, you did the right thing, but it's a motherfucking wrap. It's gonna be a lot of death season 2, a lot of fighting, a lot of destruction,
a whole lot.
She'll rule over the ashes if she got to.
Right now she will. She didn't want to do that before, but now she will.
Because that's the thing I like about the writing on the show is like we saw what happened and we went, oh, they didn't mean for that to happen. But if you hear this information secondhand, it don't matter. Like because there's no way to relay that and be like, yes, he was killed, but Aemon said he didn't mean to do it. Like, what? No. This nigga been after my son in his eye for years. It's on forever.
Yeah, and it's gonna be interesting when he gets back and what he tells his mom and them. You know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna be because he can't do nothing but tell them the truth because basically word's gonna get out. I mean, they're gonna find a nigga floating in the water, chopped in half. They're gonna be like, well, somebody ate the bitch. Somebody ate him.
Exactly. So yeah, man. Oh, that's it for the season. I'm not even gonna talk about guessing what happens later. We don't know. We'll be back when the show is back, hopefully, if everything goes well. And yeah, that's it.
That's
anything to add for final thoughts on the season before we get out of here, Karen?
No, it was a good season. Can't wait for season 2. It's already been renewed, so we'll definitely be back and we'll continue to cover it. And also for those of you that's been doing The Walking Dead, that's what we're gonna start reviewing The Walking Dead, the last season.
Yeah, we're gonna start reviewing those, catching up. We'll see how we figure out the schedule for that, obviously. But yeah, that's it, man. Thank y'all so much for
this has been fun.
Being cool fans. I'm not gonna lie, when they announced this show and when they said it was coming back, and people were writing us saying, are y'all gonna review it and stuff? I remember originally saying no because
him said no. Yeah,
a lot of the last season of Game of Thrones, people were so mad and negative
it was
that
draining.
It honestly wasn't very fun for me.
No,
and I remember thinking like, why invite that type? Like it started as a fun thing and then it just became a place for people to be upset and vent. And it was like, why go through this again?
Right. And that's the reason why me and Roger sat down. And that's why we have the rules. The rules is to keep it fun and entertaining.
And I want to, like I said, I really appreciate y'all because people, they stuck to the rules.
Right. And I really do appreciate that.
They stuck to the rules. Everybody was nice. People made it. The chat room was lit. People were in it all the time. If you didn't watch it live in the chat room, you probably missed a lot of fun jokes and fun people.
Yes.
And I know there's a lot of people that only came for this, and we won't be seeing them again unless the show comes back and we're still here years later. But I still appreciate y'all too, man. It was very fun. Y'all were very dope. And thank you all for being such like cool fans and cool people. So all right, that's it for me. We'll talk to y'all Saturday for our feedback show. And until next time, I love you.
I love you too.
Mwah. Bye everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us.